Morning, everybody. Welcome back. I hereby call the 2022 February 17th public hearing of the City of Prescott Board of Adjustments to order. Board members present, please state your name when I call it, and so we can hear it, especially if you're online. Start with me. I'm Jim Lamerson, currently the chair. Tony Teeters.
Tony Teeters, Vice Chair here.
Tom Davis.
Tom Davis here.
Mary Frederickson. Mark Hoekness. Larry Meads. Jim Myers.
Jim Myers here.
And we do have Mary Hoekness on Zoom. Mark.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Hi, Mark.
Okay, Mark.
How are you?
Hi. Very good, sir.
And we
Hey.
lost Mary.
So it sounds to me as though we have a quorum. So with a quorum, we can officially function. So Tammy, count them for me. How many were here? I thought I counted 5.
Yes, we have 5 present.
All right, thank you very much. So
Welcome.
it will require 4 votes for a majority. As some individuals may be attending on Zoom, all parties wishing to be heard, including board members, are required to state their name prior to speaking in order to ensure proper recordation. Members of the public are required to state their name and address for the record so that we may know who is speaking and be able to contact them at a later date if necessary. Please keep your phones and PC microphones on mute unless you are speaking to minimize background noise. Thank you very much. So now that we've done that, I'm going to ask Jim, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
And the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Indivisible.
individual, with liberty and justice for all.
And just to note, we also have Mary Frederickson on Zoom too.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you saying that. Good morning, Councilman. Morning. Thank you for attending. Okay. So we have 5 here. We're going to jump right into the minutes. Does anybody have any issues with the minutes of the last meeting? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting?
So move.
Second.
Jim Myers.
Thank you. We have a move and a second, and all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Okay, so that, I think I heard unanimous.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going
Through the existing parking lot and the existing access. This is the area of encroachment back here in the back of the property, which is going to be consistent with the existing buildings that are already there on the adjacent property. These parcels will be combined to alleviate any issues with the side setback. So all we're looking at today is the rear setback along this back property line here. This is an alley here that comes up here. This is kind of an overall view of the area. Here's the site plan. So like I said, this is the area of encroachment back here for this new building. They are proposing a couple of other buildings. The property will be terraced. If you drove by it, you saw that it was a very steep piece of property. So they're going to be doing a lot of earthwork on the property to create the pads for these buildings. And this is the area where they're encroaching in the back here, which is consistent with the existing building. Here's a picture of the access to the existing building. This will continue being the access. This is the alley behind it. It is undeveloped. Then here's the property in question that's going to be developed with the new buildings. There are criteria for variances that are taken into consideration. That was in your packet in your staff report. They do meet all the criteria for a variance. It's not a self-induced hardship. There's no changes in the zoning. It's an allowed use. They're just asking for a relaxation on that rear setback to be consistent with the existing building. And here's a suggested motion if you choose to approve or deny the request. And that concludes my presentation, and the applicant is also here to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Board members, is there questions?
Mr. Chairman, Tom Davis, just for clarification, Tammy, I was a little confused about the address. So the street address is Fleury, but it doesn't look like it actually fronts on Fleury.
We have two addresses that are assigned to this property. We have one here for McCormick, and we have this one for Fleury. It actually, the Fleury does go behind this alley here. So addressing did assign two addresses to this property, and we put it in our GIS system. The 226 Fleury is the one that comes up, so we want to be consistent with what comes up in our permitting and addressing system.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, so it's not like a typo, it's just the way the reference comes up on the property map.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your clarification on that, Tom. Any other questions from board members? Any questions from the public? Not hearing any. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Sounds like that passed unanimously. So now we'll discuss item number B. So let's talk about variance number 210-010. Please, Tammy.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. So this second request is a variance to Article 3, Section 3.3.3.f, single-family 35 minimum setbacks of the Land Development Code to allow a reduction of the required 30-foot rear setback by 7 feet 6 inches to allow for a 22-foot 6-inch rear setback for a new single-family residence on a 0.53 acre parcel. Here's the subject property in question. There is a lot of boulders and rock outcroppings on the property. They do have some building pads already kind of developed on these lots, as you can see. This one was also vacant out there, and this one is also vacant. In looking at the surrounding area, the question has come up before, are there any other variances that have been approved in the area? On this property right here, a couple parcels over, there was a variance approved in 2009 for a reduction in the setback to allow for the house. And we also, this is a parcel, we also have an open space tract here in the back. So this is all undeveloped here. And will have to remain as open space as part of their planned area development criteria. So here's the subject property in question with the building envelope. Here's the setback line here. And then this is the area of encroachment. It's only about 54.55 square feet. We looked into other options for an administrative adjustment, but it didn't meet the criteria for how far it's encroaching. And the reason is because of the rock outcroppings they're trying to salvage, trying to demolish them and keep the property as intact as possible. Here's the property in question. So as you see, we have lots of rock outcroppings on this property. And here's the building and pad already developed. And then here's the open space tract in the back. It is very steep, and this will not impact that open space area or criteria. Here's the variance criteria taken into consideration. This is not a self-imposed hardship. There is terrain issues with the property, and there's very limited building area on the property. And here's a suggested motion, depending on if you approve or deny the request. And that concludes my presentation, and the applicant is also here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tammy. Board members, any comments?
This is Tom Davis. Tammy, just the open space tract, is that a city open space, or is that part of the planned unit development, or what is that? Is that totally dedicated open space, is what I'm asking?
It's dedicated on the plat. It's required when they do a planned area development to have the open space, so that tract is there in perpetuity, will never be developed.
Okay. It's the only question I had.
Thank you for your question. Any other questions?
We haven't heard from the property owner next door. There's no input from them has there been?
We sent notices out to all the property owners within 300 feet. I did hear from one. I sent them information, and they said they had no concerns with it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions from the board members? Any questions from the public? Not hearing any, do I have a motion?
I move that we approve V 21-010.
I've got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I've got a motion and a second. All signify that is in favor of this variance by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Not hearing any, the motion carries. Thank you very much.
Just a comment, Mr. Chairman, it weighs heavily to see that the homeowner association also approved this, so I think that was a good sign. Thank you.
Thank you for that positive comment. Tammy, do we have any staff updates?
No, we do not.
Not having any staff in any updates? Again, thank you, Brandon, for being here. We're adjourned. Did I get you to?